Okay folks, welcome to the behind the scenes. Today I'm going to show you how to sync audio because everybody's been asking about that. So I'm going to do it as quickly as possible as to avoid making this the most boring tutorial in the world. I wouldn't want to do that, wouldn't want to offend anybody because my life is dedicated to your guys' enjoyment. So I have my footage, MP4 file, an LAHWF file. I don't recommend editing with MP4. Convert it to something like a ProRes or an EVI file. But for this, it's just fine. So I'm going to drag this down to the sequence button. And when I drag and do that in Premiere CS6, what I'm editing in now, that makes a nice, pretty new sequence that's perfectly ready for editing. And I like to do that to kind of clean things up a little bit, organize my timeline here. So I actually have two monitors in my office, but since you can't really record both very easily, I'll just do this one. So this is my source footage, and this is actually what I'm seeing down in the sequence here, as you can tell. So it's not as responsive because it's an MP4, but it will work just fine. So you can see that I have some footage here of me talking to my GoPro, and I'm using my handy dandy Rode microphone to record audio with, and that's kind of hard to see there, but it's on the end of my iPhone. Let's see if I can find a closer shot here. But anyway, I'm using my iPhone to record audio. That's the important part. So it's pretty awesome. This tutorial is based on recording video and audio separately. So with wireless audio, you wouldn't have to do this. But if you don't have access to wireless audio, or if you want to save $500, you can do it this way. And you get crystal clear audio every single time, as long as you made sure to hit record on your audio device, whatever it may be, whether an iPod, an H4n, a Zoom, another camera, pretty much anything that records sound will work, as long as you can export that file kind of like this, like an AIF file. And then you can double click and see that I have the audio here for that. So coming back to this, we'll go back into our sequence here. You'll notice that right now, if I play back, you can barely hear the sound. It's pretty terrible. So on this first one, you'll notice that I wasn't even recording on my little handy dandy iPhone there. Then I just realized, I'm like, oh, I was not recording. So I'm going to go back and do it one more time. So since I don't really need any of that footage prior, I'm just going to go ahead and erase that, come to the beginning again, make this a little bit bigger. And so basically the thing I'm going to look for now is a sync point, is what I like to call it. So a very distinct place in the sound where at least I can either see or hear on this audio that I can sync it up to with the good audio. So let me find a spot. Okay, so there's a really good T that I used when I'm saying the word today. So I'll add a little marker there. You can do it however you want. You can even clip it, so and then readjust it later, but I usually just add a marker. So now I'm going to come in here and find that exact same spot in the audio as best I can. So you can hear that audio much better because I recorded it with a good microphone really close to my face. There's that T. Find it as close as I can, mark an endpoint, and I can drag this audio down right to where that marker's at. And that gets me very, very close. Okay, it might not be perfect just yet, but we can go in and check it out. I can erase that marker now once I don't need it. I'll extend it out. Obviously, I don't want to. Oops. I don't want to move it. If I move it this way, then that makes it off sync. But I just want to trim it that way. And if you're not understanding these terms or anything, go watch a tutorial about basic editing, and then come back and watch this.
Welcome to Log Behind the Scenes.
Okay, so if you look at my face when we're watching this here,
Today we're going to be talking about all your questions.
it looks a little off. And it takes a good eye to see that, but you can tell that it's not quite right. So I'm going to go ahead and just toggle this audio channel off. That's my GoPro audio and it sucks. So I'm just going to do it completely by eye because this audio channel, as we heard before, is pretty much worthless. I mean, listen. Hey, come on. So it's pretty terrible. Anyway, I'll just mute that and then toggle this so that it's basically as if there were nothing else there. So now I'm going to adjust this, fine tune it. So we'll come here.
Questions about syncing audio.
So it looks like the actual audio down here is coming a little bit too fast, and it's playing right before I say it in the video. So I'm going to move it forward 2 frames with my keypad, or with my number pad. Come back and watch it again.
And wireless audio.
Okay. It's looking better, but it's still not quite there.
Today I'm going to answer all your questions.
Okay. So I'm going to do maybe another 1 frame back, or 1 frame forward in time, or back in time, sorry. It's kind of confusing when you...
Welcome to our Boss Behind the Scenes. When we discuss all the audio problems right in front.
Yep, that's looking pretty good. So it's close enough. Anyway, you get the idea. Then you can go ahead and trim it
Right in front.
however you want, like that, boom. And then I can just say,
The scenes.
so I want to trim that back. Let's move this forward a second, just have some wiggle room here.
Welcome to Live Behind the Scenes.
Okay, so if I watch this now,
Welcome to Live Behind the Scenes. Today we're going to be talking about all your questions about syncing audio.
still seems like it's coming a little bit too fast to me. Maybe that's just my eye, but
Wireless audio. And all that.
maybe I adjusted it, so I'm going to move the back one. So basically you get the idea. All you got to do is find a sync point, pop it in, sync it up, and then lock it if you want to that. And in After Effects you can do, or in Premiere you can do a link somewhere, unlink, I don't know, whatever. So you can do that if you want. So now, yay, it's all done. That's the tutorial. Very simple.
Your questions about syncing audio and wireless audio and all that.
So that's that. Pretty awkward, I know. Okay guys, see ya, love you.